Okay. Sure. Okay. Hello. Good evening, everyone. How was your day? Good evening, everyone. Lying Johnny Lowe. Good evening, everyone. How was your day? All right. Right. Let's wait for viewers to come online. Okay. So, good evening, everyone. I think none of you needs an introduction from me. Well, you already know who am I. So, well, so tonight I'll be sharing how to answer when there are questions that thrown at you in a high level English, but not in normal way. Just like for instance, let's say if interviewer asks you, like, tell me about yourself. So ဒီနေ့ပြောပြမယ့်အရာကဘာလဲဆိုရင် it's normal ပေါ့နော်ပုံမှန်ပြောနေကြဟာမဟုတ်ဘဲနဲ့မေးတဲ့မိကုန်းနဲ့နည်းနည်းလေးတွေ့ဖဲတဲ့အရာကိုပေါ့နော်ပြောပြပေးတော့မှာဖြစ်တယ် So normally, right, interviewer will ask you, tell me about yourself and blah blah blah, etc. Right, so you would say, and you would tell your name and then what you do and what you have been doing for the past couple of years or for the past several years, that what you have done. You might just simply state this, but the questions that I am going to teach you and I'm going to discuss with you today is a little bit different from what we normally see or what we can Google. Like, so the first question, it's based on myself, based on the experience that I have gone through, and particularly in corporate sector, right? အခုမြန်မာရောအင်္ဂလိပ်ရောအဲ့လိုမျိုး bilingual သွားပြပါမယ် So yeah, this is, I would just say, unique questions. So instead of saying, can you tell me about yourself, right? The question could be, ဒီချက်ကိုလည်းအမေခံခဲ့ရပူတဲ့ဟာမျိုးလေးပေါ့နော်ဆိုတော့ so I would just post it here. So that is the question. အဲ့တော့ဒီချက် question ကဒီချက် experience ပေါ့နော်ပေါ်မှာမူတည်ပြီးတော့ဖြေမှာဖြစ်တယ် So that the answer would be based on what I've gone through, based on my career, particularly corporate experience that I have gone through. So I would just say, can you tell me about your experience in education and business sectors? And I would just say, certainlyဆိုတာကအသေးချာပဲပေါ့ So you can state how many years you had experience in your career. You can say, I have this experience. How many years? So for me, I would just say, certainly I have over 7 years of experience in teaching sectors across various levels and subjects ranging from K-12 English to undergraduate and MBA business courses, which I'm still teaching at Mongolia International University. And additionally, I've been involved in the business sector through roles such as marketing executive and program management executive, totaling totaling this is a totaling a decade-long commitment to both fields. A totaling. Certainly, you can say just, can you tell me about your experience in education and business sectors? Yes, of course. I would love to. You can say that, or you can say, I would love to, certainly, definitely, absolutely, completely, comprehensively. And be natural. ပြန်ဖြေတဲ့အခါမှာအလုံးမကြက်ပါနဲ့အလုံးကြက်တဲ့ဟာခလုတ်တိုင်ပြီးသွားနိုင်တယ်လို့နောက်တစ်ခုကသူတို့က they know it whether you memorize it so like it comes from you like naturally speaking from yourself from within အထက်ကနေပြီးတော့ပြောသလိုမျိုး so I have over 7 years of experience in teaching so ငါကteaching masoyin kunane joshi dwai so let's say if you're in a corporate field you can say I have over a couple of years in marketing sector and focusing on or you can say emphasizing on or mainly doing for so jekuna chepsi so experience in teaching across various fields and a variety of subjects ranging from K-12 English to or I can add on standardized test or to undergraduate and graduate students at Mongolia International University. Additionally, I've been involved in a various, or you can say a variety, or you can also say assortment, or you can also say accumulation. I've been involved in a variety of, or you can also say a diverse sector through many roles, from many roles such as marketing executive and program executive and totaling susubao, or you can say accumulating, totaling a long or a decade long so a decade long commitment to both fields. So it depends on your sector. So can you tell me about your experience in education and business sector? Okay, can you walk me through your background experience? Can you walk me through? Can you walk me through? Experience ကိုလက်လျှောက်ပြီးတော့ပို့ပေးပါလားလို့ပြောတာမဟုတ်ဘူးပြောချင်တာကနေ့ experience background experience ကဘာတွေလဲဆိုတာကိုအတူတူပြောပေးလို့ရလားcan you walk me through background experience ဒါဆိုလဲခုနဟာကိုထပ်ပြီးတော့ပြောလို့ရတာဖြစ်တယ်ဟုတ်ပြီနော် okay နောက်တစ်ခုကကြတော့တချို့တွေကြတော့ CV ထဲမှာ sometimes right people they would input they would input a volunteer's job, right? Go volunteer လုပ်ထားတဲ့ jobs တွေကိုထည့်လို့ရှိတယ် right? အဲ့လိုမျိုးချိန်ကြလို့ရှိရင် how would you respond? ဘာဖြစ်လို့ volunteer လုပ်လဲလို့မေးလို့ရှိရင်ဘယ်လို respond လုပ်မလဲဆိုတော့အဲ့နဲ့မေးခွန်းကနော်ဒီမေးခွန်းကိုဒီ Facebook ပေါ်မှာတင်ပေးလိုက်ပါမယ် yeah okay okay can I know just hang on I'm brushing it up so okay so what motivates you to for the go interview လုပ်တဲ့သူကကိုယ့်ရဲ့ like CV or resume ကိုကြည့်လိုက်တဲ့အခါမှာကိုက volunteer ထည့်ထားတယ်။ just ဆိုလဲ volunteer ထည့်ထားတယ်။ So I just input some volunteering jobs. One of them is where I interpreter as my church. ဒီ church မှာဒီ interpreter လုပ်တဲ့အနေနဲ့ church ဒီမှာပေါ့နော်တင်ပေးလိုက်ပြီ can you all see it? I think I can pin it. Yes, I just pinned it for you. So what motivated you to volunteer as an interpreter for the church? So in church, or sometimes they would say, okay, I've come across your CV. And then I realized that you are interpreting for the church. Why do you do that? And what is your reasons? And I check your CV and I've been browsing through your CV, and you have lots of experience plus, and you have many things to commit to, and why you're still volunteering as the church. Why volunteering at the church? Sorry, not as the church, at the church. Why? So အဲ့တော့အလုပ်တွေအများကြီးရှိနေပြီးတဲ့ဟာဘာဖြစ်လို့ volunteer job ကလုပ်နေသေးတာလဲလို့မေးလာတဲ့ခါကြလို့ရှင် well, first of all, I love to volunteer, or you can straight away, or you can just directly jump into the answer saying that I volunteer as an interpreter at my local church to contribute to the community and bridge language barriers for those who do not know how to speak or understand Burmese language. And it's kind of fulfilling to assist English-speaking attendees in understanding the sermons delivered in Burmese, allowing them to fully engage with the spiritual teachings and what the preacher is preaching about. So, ဒါကယူယူလေးဖြေသွားရတာဟုတ်ပြီနော် so ဘာဖြစ်လို့လဲဘာဖြစ်လို့လုပ်ချင်တာလဲ so why because ကူညီခြင်းနဲ့ဆိုရဟာကို you just focus. So when do you do volunteers? Well, but obviously the bosses know, or your employers know that you are accumulating volunteer experiences in order to showcase on your CV or resume. They already know it, but still they want to ask you, why do you want to do a volunteer job? Obviously, of course, we can't just say that we just want more accumulative working experience while we are applying for or in between jobs. We can't and we shouldn't say this, right? But even the employers know that you are accumulating working experiences while you're in between jobs, or while you are transitioning or looking for or scouting for other jobs. They know that, but they still want to hear why. So you just simply say it. You just simply say it. Why? Because you just want to help the community and bridge the language gap. Bridge the language gap and to fulfill the needs of English-speaking attendees while they're listening to sermons which they couldn't understand and which they couldn't understand and which is preach in Burmese language. So, if you have any questions, please do ask. After this ဒီဟာပြီးသွားတဲ့အခါမှာတစ်ချက်ပေါ့နော်6ခုမိကုန်း6ခုပြင်ဆင်ထားတယ်အဲ့ဒါပြီးသွားတဲ့အခါမှာ you can ဟောပါပေါ့နော်ပြီးသွားတဲ့အခါမှာချက်ဖြည့်ပေးပါမယ်လို့ဟုတ်ပြီနော် ဆိုတော့ဒါကဒီချက်က teaching နဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့ပုံစံမျိုးဖြစ်တော့ကျွန်တော်နောက်တဲ့မိကုန်းတစ်ခုကိုဒါကတော့တစ်ချက်ကိုမေးတဲ့မိကုန်းကဘာလဲဆိုတော့သူကဟောပါတော့ high level management level နော် management level and above အဲ့လိုမျိုးမိကုန်းနေကြရင်သူကရိုးရိုးလေးဟိုပေါ့နော်အခု interview တွေမှာမေးသလို tell me about yourself, why do you want this job, and why do you want to work in this company, and what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and what do you think that you could achieve more, and how do you see yourself in 5 years time, so blah blah blah. အဲ့ဒါမျိုးတွေထက်ဆိုင်တော့ဒီချက်ပို့ပြီးတော့အရှင်းမြင်သွားတယ်။ဘာကြောင့်လဲဆိုလို့ရှိရင်သူက management and above level ကြတော့ management ဆိုတာမှာ depends on the sector. Let's say if you're working, it's one of the tycoons in the business like one of the maybe one of the well-known or one of the humongous or one of the worldwide accepted companies in the world, and you are like, for instance, you want to work at Google, maybe you want to be a part of the Google management team, and this question might be some of the questions similar to you might have been asked to, but ခုနချက်ပြောသွားတဲ့ဟာမှာဆိုရင်တော့ the questions that I've just shared with you အဲ့ဒါကတော့ရိုးပုံမှန် level လောက်ကိုတွားတဲ့သူတွေအနေနဲ့ဆိုရင်တော့အရင်အမြင့်ကြီးဖြေစရာမလို right just like ပြောမယ်ဆိုရင်တော့ရိုး English conversation မှာဆိုထမင်းစားရည်တောက်ဆိုရင်လေဒီလို interview မှာဆိုလေထမင်းစားရည်တောက်ဆိုတာ ਨੇ ရှိသလိုသူက middle ရှိတယ်အမြင့်ဆုံးရှိတယ်ဟုတ်ပြီနော်အဲ့ဒါတရားတစ်ချက်ကဒီကမြင့်တဲ့ဘက်ကိုပြောပြဒီချက်မြင့်တဲ့အရာတွေလည်းရှိသေးတယ်เนาะဒါချေနောက်ထပ်ဟိုမှာ sharing လုပ်ပေးမယ်ပေါ့နော်ဆိုတော့ဒီခုနောက်ထပ်မေးခွန်းတစ်ခုတည်းနေဆိုရင်just the next question it's I just posted for you okay I just pinned it for you so how do you integrate global perspectives into your teaching approach wow that's huge that's immense right because it says how do you integrate means ဘယ်လိုထည့်ပြီးသွင်းလဲဘယ်လိုထည့်ပေါင်းလဲ global perspectives ဆိုတာကတကယ်ကိုကမ္ဘာ level ကမ္ဘာပုံစံအမြင့်အနေနဲ့ဒီနေ့ရဲ့သင်ကြားတဲ့ approach ရှိထဲမှာနေဘယ်လိုထည့်လဲ so maybe if I'm applying from one of the top-notch universities in the world maybe this is a question that might be asked right soဒီဟာဒီဒါ teacher prepare လုပ်ထားတဲ့ဘောနော်question ပုံစံမျိုးဖြစ်ပါတယ်ပေါ့နော် so I would just say teacher ကဘောနော် teacher ဒီအဖြေတွေကိုတော့ teacher ချမြေပေးဆိုတဲ့သဘောကတော့ teacher သင်နေတဲ့ကျောင်းနေတဲ့နာမည်တွေကိုလည်းအဲ့လိုမျိုးမတင်ချင်တာလည်းပါလို့ပါ so right so just to not to violate any laws okay so how do you integrate so I would just say I believe in incorporating diverse perspectives. So, and if they've been asked, say, how do you integrate? Let's say if this is something that might find you, let's say if you've been asked this way, if you find it difficult to answer, you could say, well, let me think. And yeah, so I believe incorporating diverse perspectives into education to enrich the learning experience. So I believe in incorporating. So I believe straga yongjide incorporating so ထည့်သွင်းထားဖို့ယုံကြည်တယ်။ဘာကိုထည့်သွင်းထားမှာလဲဆိုရှင် diverse perspectives diverse ဆိုတာကအမျိုးမျိုးသော perspectives အမြင်များကိုထည့်သွင်းရတာကိုကြိုက်တယ်။ဘယ်မှာလဲ so into education to enrich the learning experience ကိုပို့ပြီးတော့သင်ယူခြင်းအတွေ့အကြုံကိုပို့ပြီးတော့enrich ရောကြွယ်ဝလာစေဖို့ရန်အတွက်ဖြစ်တယ် so whether it's for instance if I give you an example with my current class where I teach MBA students and at Mongolia International Universities, whether it's discussing global business trends in MBA courses or exploring literature from different culture in English classes, I ensure all of my students gain a holistic understanding of the subject matter. That's how I incorporate the global perspectives. So the global perspectives is not just importing only, but also asking them or asking them to search on their own using the latest technology, and then always or constantly or incessantly up to date themselves with the latest news worldwide or across the globe. အဲ့လိုမျိုးလေးလည်းဖြေလို့ရတာဖြစ်တယ်။ဆိုတော့ဒီက how do you integrate ဆိုတော့ဥမာဖြင့် how do you integrate global perspectives into your project management into your project so that's how you can say it that's how you can say global perspectives is like you discuss a lot of things you discuss from around the world and you touch on a lot of things from around the world and that's how you tap into the classroom or that's how you tap into your project and that's how you delve delve Right? Forget delve you just dive into it. You just dive deeper into the subject or into that project. That's how you can say. And you can say holistic. Holistic is just like comprehensive. It's whole. Holistic ဆိုတာကလုံးဝလုံးတုပ်အကုန်လုံးပါတယ်မြန်မာလိုဆိုရင်ဟုတ်ပြီနော် Okay good ဆိုတော့ဒီဟာမျိုးမေးတယ်နောက်ထပ်မေးခင်ပေးမယ် number 4မေးခွန်းကဒါဒီ management level ဆိုရင်ဥမာဖြစ် senior level ကိုသွားတဲ့သူတွေဆိုလို့ရှိရင်မေးတာဖြစ်တယ်အဲ့တော့ L I ဒါကတစ်ချက်အတွက်ပဲပေါ့နော်တစ်ချက် is based on my experience and based on my career this how I come up with these questions so here we go so okay I just posted it just pin it for you okay so this is question 4 Could you describe a challenging situation you face as a part-time professor and how you handle it? Since I am working part-time professor at Mongolia International University, so this based on my CV, right? And the interviewer asked me this question. So how would you say? I would say frankly that I've experienced a lot of hiccups or a lot of challenges as since I start work here, but I love it. I love every challenge that I took upon. But one of the significant challenges that I encountered was managing a diverse student backgrounds, and a lot of students come from different backgrounds and different nationalities. And they have diverse learning styles in my MBA business courses. So to address this, I implemented a variety of teaching methods, such as case studies and group projects and interactive discussions, and to accommodate different preferences and ensure all students could thrive academically and could enjoy my class and they could engage well with each other. That's how you can reply. Sure. Dima solution, if you, let's say, could you describe a situation you face as a marketing executive in your previous job? You know, look at it, marketing executive position, Marwa, ni balumyo handle locale. Or to share locate hane but the biro yeah so yeah so the job that I took upon was back in 2009 and I was being assigned as a marketing executive and my job mainly was to give a cold call to the customers throughout the days. One of the challenge was I wasn't able to speak well to one of the customers, and the customers was agitated and pissed off instantly when I promote something to her. So she was so pissed off and complained to directly to our company, and I've been told that I was rude in saying things to her, and I couldn't explain properly to one of the products that she was wanting to buy. But ultimately, I was able to convince her the way that I speak was not to meant any harm or not to meant to be rude. It was just was out of choosing the words, and then she was able to understand what I was saying, and then she closed the case. She closed the complaint towards our company. So that's how I handle it. So Adam Yoga, you can just say naturally, right? လောကကိုတဘာဝအတိုင်းလေးပြောလို့ရတယ်။ဘယ်လိုမျိုး challenges တွေကြုံရလဲဆိုရင်အဲ့လိုမျိုး ပြောလို့ရတယ်เนาะဒါကိုယ့်ရဲ့ position ပေါ်မှာမူတည်ပြီးတော့just be natural like ကျန်ရဲ့ပြောတဲ့ဟာက like be natural ဆိုတာကလုံးဝသဘာဝအတိုင်းနဲ့ပြောဖို့ဖြစ်တယ်ဟုတ်နော်ဟိုပါပေါ့you of course yeah when you are going for any type of interview of course you go to practice but yet it should comes from you naturally okay so the next question the next questionဒီဟာကတော့ဥမာဖြင့် career ကိုcareer နဲ့တချို့ကြတော့ career ကိုအရင် advance ဖြစ်တဲ့သူဒါမှမဟုတ် career မှာနည်းနည်း gap ဖြစ်နေတဲ့သူအတွက် depend on the age ပေါ့နော်ဒီလိုမေးခွန်းမျိုးလေးလည်းမေးတတ်တယ်ပေါ့နော် so next question so how do you stay updated okay I'm going to pin it for you so how do you stay updated with the latest developments in education and business အဲ့တော့နေကနောက်ဆုံးတိုးတက်နေတဲ့ပညာရေးတွေနောက်ပြီးတော့ businesses စီးပွားရေးနဲ့ဆိုင်တဲ့ဟာတွေနဲ့နေကဘယ်လိုမျိုး up to date เนาะဒီအများတဲ့up to date ဖြစ်နေအောင်เนาะhow do you stay updated အများတဲ့ဒီဟာတွေကိုသိနေအောင်နေဘယ်လိုမျိုးနေတာလဲ so well for that case right it's quite simple it's quite simple အဲ့တော့လဲဆိုရင်ဒီဟာကိုမေးလို့ရှိရင်ဟိုဘယ်လိုပြောလို့ရလဲဆိုရှင်အမြဲတမ်းလေ့လာနေတယ် training ကြီးအမြဲတက်နေတယ်ပြောလို့ရတယ် so you can say one I could or you can say I stay updated by attending professional development workshops seminars conferences relevant to education and businesses and additionally I regularly engage with academic conference or academic literature and industry publications to remain informed about emerging trends and most practices in both fields. So you can just say, how do you stay updated? How do you stay updated with yourself? So, ဘယ်လိုမျိုး updated ဖြစ်လဲဆိုရင် workshops တွေထည့်နေတယ် and then you regularly update yourself with worldwide news daily. That's how you can say it as well. Okay, sure. So based on my CV, and they might ask you this type of question, another question. So like teacher ကအဲ့လို training တွေပေးတယ်ဘာတွေပေးတယ်ဆိုတဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်သူနောက်ထပ်မေးနိုင်တဲ့မေးခွန်းကဒါမျိုးဖြစ်တယ် So can you provide an example of a successful training program you developed and delivered? So successful training program တစ်ခုပြောပြပေးပါအဲ့ successful training program မှာတကယ်အောင်မြင်သွားတဲ့ training program တစ်ခုအဲ့ program တစ်ခုနေလောက်လိုက်တဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့် example ပေးပါပြီးတော့နင် develop လုပ်တယ်ပြီးတော့နင်ကိုယ်တိုင်လည်းပေးခဲ့တယ်အဲ့ဒါကဘာ training လဲဟုတ်ပြီနော်ဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒါမျိုးကြလို့ရှိရင်ဒါကကိုယ်တိုင်တွေ့ကြုံခဲ့တဲ့ဟာတစ်ခုပေါ့ you can say well throughout my teaching career or throughout my throughout my training career I've given I would say more than 20 training programs that I have delivered throughout the past 7 years. Well, one successful training program I developed focused on enhancing professional communication skills for corporate employees through interactive workshops and simulated scenarios. Participants learned effective verbal and written communication techniques, resulting in workplace communication and productivity. And I've also learned that some of them who took my course, they started to speak in public without fail, and started to speak in public with bravery. And that's one of the striking significance that I've achieved creating this program. So that's how you can say it. အဲ့လိုလေးလည်းပြောလို့ရတာဖြစ်တယ်။ဟုတ်ပြီနော်။ဆိုတော့ဘယ်လိုမျိုးလုပ်ပြီးခဲ့လဲဆိုရင် training program တစ်ခုကချက်ခုနပြန်ပြီးတော့အချင်းချင်းပြောလိုက်မယ်ဆို communication နဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့ဟာကိုလုပ်ပြီးတယ်လို့ပြောတယ်။ပြီးလို့ရှိရင်အဲ့ communication မှာတက်ချင်အပြင်ဝန်ထမ်းတွေက employees တွေအချင်းချင်းတို့အချင်းချင်းကပို့ပြီးတော့ဆက်ဆံရေးပို့ပြီးတော့ကောင်းလာကြတယ်။အဲ့ကနေပြီးတော့တဲ့အခါမှာ public speaking ကိုလည်းပို့ပြီးတော့တိုးတက်လာတယ်ဆိုတဲ့ချက်လေးပေါ့နော်။နောက်ပြီးရင်သူတို့ကလုပ်ငန်းခွင်ထဲမှာလည်းပို့ပြီးတော့ communication ကောင်းတဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်ပို့ပြီးတော့ပေါ့နော် productivity ပို့ဖြစ်တယ်။ဟုတ်ပြီနော်။ Okay, right. So teacher အခု 6 ထိပေါ့နော်။ now so မေးခွန်းပေါ့နော် question 7အဲ့တော့ချက်ထည့်ထားပေးတာပေါ့နော် okay မေးခွန်းလည်းချက်ဖြေပေးပါမယ်ဟာလေးပါObi, just pin it for you. How do you handle challenging students or difficult classroom situations? Well, Dimasri, I can give you two answers. Answers ya nakulak yoluyai. So the first one got general as in challenges you would as a teacher you would approach them with patience, empathy, and proactive mindset. And I try to understand the root cause of why the students are behaving this way or misbehave in some particular ways, and whether in their academic or personal, I would implement appropriate strategies to tackle them, and such as one-on-one counseling, behavioral interventions, like teachers always do, teachers constantly do, or academic support. Or another answer, how do you handle challenging situations or difficult classroom situations? Well, I would say currently I've been teaching academically challenged students, and well, the first priority is patience, and the second priority would be ways to tackle techniques and how to influence them and how to persuade them to learn and perceive like how I want to teach to them. And I would not say what is the academic challenge, but I would say I have to try out, or you can say I've tried out several techniques to tackle each student and to get what things need to be taught. And it's quite challenging, yet fun, and yet full of joy, since I've been trying out a lot of techniques on them. And then as soon as I get their attention and their ability to learn something was flashed over or flashed upon, I find joy in teaching them. That's how you can say it as well. အဲ့လိုလေပြန်ပြီးတော့ reply လုပ်လို့ရတယ်ဟုတ်ပြီနော် Okay. Right. So these are the 7 questions that I give you, that I share with you, how you could rejoin the answers, plus how you be able to tackle, let's say if you ever experience any type of this question. Right. Now it's Question. Okay. Din Shun Kai. Teacher, please answer the question. Describe an example about leadership or communication skills. So, example about leadershipဆိုတာကဘယ်လို sense နဲ့ပြောမေးချင်တာလဲ leadership ဆိုတာက interviewer က leadership လို့မေးချင်တာလားဒါမှမဟုတ် just general leadership လားဒါမှမဟုတ် interviewer က leadership ကဘာလဲလို့မေးချင်တာလားဒါမှမဟုတ် communication skills ကတော့ example of communication skillဆိုတာကလည်း general မေးတာလားဒါမှမဟုတ် interview အနေနဲ့ specific မေးတာလားအဲ့ဒါလေးတစ်ချက်ကို clarify လုပ်ပေးပါleadership မှာဆိုရင် general တွေလည်းအများကြီးရှိတယ်ဆိုတော့ work ကမေးတဲ့ဟာကိုပြောချင်တာလားကိုယ့် work ကမေးတာလားကိုယ့်ရဲ့ leadership ကိုဥပမာဖြင့်ခုနမေးရဆိုရင်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ leadership ကဘာလဲအဲ့လိုပြောချင်တာလားcan you clarify soအခု I'm not sure but tin shun ခိုင်ကဘာလုပ်လဲတော့ကျွန်တော်လည်းမသိဘူးပေါ့နော် so job interview မှာဆို leadership မှာဆိုရင်well there are many several things ပေါ့နော် several things ပြောလို့ရတဲ့အရာရှိတယ်ကျွန်တော်ဥပမာဖြင့်ချက်အနေနဲ့ဆိုရင်ချက်အနေနဲ့ဖြေပြမှာပေါ့နော်အဲ့လိုအရှိကြီးဖြေမယ်ဆိုရင်လည်းအများကြီးဖြေလို့ရတယ် soဒီချက်ချို့ဟာတွေတော့ပေါ့နော်ဒီ position လေးတော့ပြောင်းပြီးတော့ပြောမယ်ပေါ့နော် leadership ကိုဘယ်လိုထည့်လဲဆိုလို့ရှိရင် well during my tenure tenure ဆိုတာသိရနော် tenure ဆိုတာကအဲ့မှာအလုပ်လုပ်နေတဲ့အချိန်မှာနော်အဲ့ဒီအလုပ်အတွင်းမှာ so during my tenure as data management and public relation managers at one of the international schools in Yangon, I encounter a significant challenge regarding the school's data management system. Here it goes. The existing system was outdated and inefficient, leading to errors in student reports and administrative bottlenecks. Okay? Bottlenecks. Did you realize that? Bottlenecks. B-O-T-T-L-E bottle N-E-C-K-S bottlenecks are problems. So and then I recognize the importance of addressing the issue promptly. So I initiated the lead to a comprehensive overhaul of the data management system. Then I assemble a team of IT professionals. They are virtually working with me from Colombo, which in Sri Lanka, and also together with administrators here and key stakeholders to assess the current shortcomings and identify requirements for a more streamlined and user-friendly solution. So I was the leader of the project. So as a leader of the project, I facilitated collaborative discussions, encouraged innovative ideas, and ensured all the team members felt empowered to contribute to their expertise. And I also had to liaison, you can say, liaised. I also liaised with external vendors to explore potential software solutions that would require specific needs and including budget constraints. So throughout the implementation phase, I maintained open communication channels with entire school community, providing regular updates on the progress of the project, and soliciting, SOLICITING, soliciting is like solving something, soliciting feedback to address any concerns or suggestions. And I also conducted training sections for staff to ensure a smooth transition to the new data management system. Well, ultimately, I had to say thanks to all the team members who put collaborative efforts and showing effective leadership, and we successfully implemented the new system within the project timeline and budget. And I would say the school experience significant improvements in data accuracy, efficiency, and accessibility, and ultimately, I would say, enhancing overall administrative operations, and which creates a positive learning environment for the whole school. So ဒါချက်ဖြစ်ပြသွားတာကဒီချက်ဒါကချက်မြန်မာပြည်ပြန်အောင်တော့လုပ်ခဲ့တဲ့အလုပ်နဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့ဟာလေးကို just အဲ့မှာ leadership မှာဘယ်လို leadership ကို take on လုပ်ခဲ့လဲဆိုတော့ပြောတာဖြစ်တယ်ဟုတ်ပြီနော် so communication skills got, well, depends as in like if how you train them to become or to make them more effective in their communication skills, or how or you upgrade yourself to become more effective in communicating with your colleagues or your bosses, or even the outsiders, even vendors or suppliers. So အဲ့ဒါကအခု be specific တော့ပေါ့နော်သူ specific မေးရဆိုတော့ specific ပေါ့communication skills ကိုဘယ်လို upgrade လုပ်လဲလို့ကိုမေးရဆိုလို့ရှင် well, as you can see, I'm a type of person who loves to upgrade myself, particularly in speaking. And I love languages, and I've been learning currently concurrently learning both Russian and Mandarin speaking language. So that is one of the things that I've considered myself as I'm a good communicator, since a person who has good communication knows well in language first. So language knows well in language first, and then in order to communicate well with others better, I constantly read books about how to communicate well within your group, with the teammates, or with the bosses, or even with the outsider, and how to communicate someone psychologically in order to persuade them, in order to gain their favor, or in order to gain their trust. So that's what I've been learning. And for whatever I've learned from the book, or whatever I learned from what I watch, either in YouTube or in other videos I've come across, I've applied in my current job, where I, for give you an instance, recently I got an argument, or not an argument, you can say I had a dispute over some project matters, and then the other colleague, she was constantly accusing me for doing things wrong. However, I managed to restrain myself, and not to talk back to her. And then I control myself, and I explained to her what she accused me was not what I was doing. And I explained to her with step by step. And then I managed to reply and I managed to satisfy her in the end, or you can say ultimately. But these are the examples that you can give. You can give more than that, right? So communication skills မှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင် it's bad point of view ကနေပြောချင်တာလေ job interview မှာအများကြီးလာနိုင်တယ်ခုနကပြော how can you say that, or how well can you say that you are a good communicator? Or you can say, yeah, since I'm answering your questions, and that's one of the skills that I can communicate well with you, isn't it? Like interviewers they are they could ask many questions. Like so many jobs ဆိုတဲ့ကြောင့်မှာတော့လည်းအဲ့လိုအများကြီးမိခဲ့တဲ့အခါမှာအဲ့လို interviewer တပြိုင်တည်းမှာအဲ့လို၄ယောက်လုံးမိတာတွေလည်းကြုံခဲ့ပူရပါတော့ so many depends ပေါ့ဘယ်ဟာမိမလဲဆိုတော့ဒါပေမဲ့ you just have to be tactful ဆိုတာကလို့ပါနေပြီးတော့ just answer like naturally. Interview မှာဆိုရင် there's neither right nor wrong answers. It's just how you can convey the answers and how you can persuade them to like you and to land a job there. Okay, hope you know. All right, so yeah, so that's all for tonight's class. Okay, any more questions? Mizia Amigo Sheila, any more questions? Okay, right, so yeah. So that's all. If you still have any more other questions, you can send us so it's just a bit worn out. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you so much for learning with me, and thank you for your questions as well. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, sure. Tin Shun Kai, may I please ask a question? Yes, you may. Yeah. Okay, I'm waiting. Okay. Did you ask? Or is it connection? Connection. Okay. I'm still waiting. Okay. Yeah, well, I want to know then, so how did you handle when you made a mistake? Well, just say, everybody make mistakes, right? So for me, I made several mistakes in my previous jobs. Current question at me, Mr. I would just say, how did you handle when you made a mistake? Well, first of all, I would just say, we all make mistakes. And I did several mistakes in my previous jobs. And no one is perfect, right? အဲ့ဒါ interviewer ကိုလည်းသူက personal level နေလည်းပြောလို့ရတယ် So but what I just did was I constantly learned from my mistakes, not to make this mistake again in my next job. So that's how I move on. But if we are dwelling on that mistake, we will not be able to move on to the next level. So even if I make mistakes, I learn from it. I just analyzed, assessed it, evaluated what went wrong, and how can it be better when I do for the next time, or when I do the next step for this project. So that's how I move on from the mistake, and that's how I learn from the mistakes. အဲ့လို simple လေးလည်းဖြေလို့ရတယ် Okay. Okay. All right. So it's just like, if you made a mistake, correct it and learn from it. Move on. That's all. ခုနကချက်က elaborative ဖြေထားတာဖြစ်တယ်ဒါကတော့ခုနနောက်ဆုံးဖြေလိုက်တဲ့ဟာတော့ just simple ones ပဲဖြေတာဖြစ်တယ်ဟုတ်ပြီနော်ဆိုတော့ even employers တွေကလည်း I mean even ဘယ်သူမှတော့ perfect မဖြစ်ဘူးကွာအမှားတော့နည်းနိုင်သူနေဖို့တော့လိုတာပေါ့နော်အလုပ်လုပ်တဲ့အခါမှာ but still sometimes you might have oblivious mistake ဆိုတော့တတိမထားမိလိုက်တဲ့အခါမျိုးဖြစ်သွားရပါတော့အလုပ်ရမ်းများတဲ့အခါအဲ့ဒီအချိန်ကြီးကြမှာဆိုရင် just and then if you make a mistake towards the customer or mistake လုပ်ခဲ့ရဆိုတော့ first you got to apologize to the customers and then make sure the customers is satisfied or recompensate with some other items or recompensate with other words ဟောနော်အဲ့လိုမျိုးလေးလုပ်ပြီးလို့ရတယ်recompensate လုပ်ပေးလို့ရတယ် customer and then just corrective action take the corrective action and then learn from it and never make that mistake again and goodbye to that mistake just give a wave to that mistake and move on don't think about it okay yeah that's all all right okay all right thank you for your question and I hope you all learned something from this video and I wish you a lovely night and God bless you bountifully in every aspect of your life and always remember God loves you so much and goodbye and good night ciao